So I was talking before the news break about my January challenge, which is to maintain a diehard belief in yourself because it's something that's just so important for so many reasons. But I also had started a theme for 2021, and my theme for this year is, we're talking about this year, steer your life. I want you to steer your life because the last year, as I mentioned when I kicked it off the beginning of the month, last year for a lot of people was a little tough, wasn't it? For many reasons. So many, it seemed to me, kind of put their life on hold for very understandable reasons. There's a lot of uncertainty out there, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. But this year, I want you to get yourself out of that passenger seat, get yourself back in the driver's seat, and steer your life. That's what this year is all about All About Women. And I had read a blog written by a fabulous, who I really like. She has been on the show before. She's a board-certified life coach right up the road in Sarasota. She had written a blog that has to do with hope and action. And I read that, and I said to myself, oh, this is so in keeping with my year's theme. I want to talk to Tammy again. So I'm so happy to be able to say hello again to Sarasota board-certified life coach, Tammy Barnett. Hello, Tammy.
Good morning, Mary. It's such an honor to be with you. Thank you for the opportunity again.
Well, and it's so nice to hear your voice. Happy New Year. I think we can still say that if I understand protocol
Absolutely.
correctly. So Happy New Year, Tammy.
Yes. Happy New Year to you, Mary. And I love your theme. I just really love your theme.
Well, and I loved your blog again, Tammy, and Tammy's website. We'll give it again before the end of our conversation, of course, but it's Tammy Barnett, BARNET.com. And again, Tammy, I was on your website, which is fabulous. And one of your blogs, I don't know if it was your most recent one, but one of your blogs is entitled Hope Without Action is Just a Wish. And I read it and I loved it, and that's when I reached out to you. So can you talk about that a little bit in terms of what was your motivation for writing this?
Oh, absolutely. I in working with coaching clients and just even myself, I think about all the times that we say, well, I wish this, I hope for this. We dream about this, but that thing else with that. And the action step, it's that pushing that accelerator. We can get in that car and steer all we want, but until we push that accelerator, we're not going to go anywhere. And so, that action step has to be there. It's critical in order for our dreams and our hopes to come true. And so for me, it's important, or it's helpful for me to put these hopes and these dreams into two categories. And the first category are the hope of the dreams that I have control over. So for instance, being able to maintain a diehard belief in myself and being able to take action through self-care, making sure that I get enough rest, reducing anxiety in my life. Let go of things that I don't have control over. That's going to reduce some anxiety. What if my hope is that I want a better relationship or with my children or with my spouse or with my friends? Well, I have to take a look at myself and look at what I'm doing to enable that relationship to become better. So those are some examples of that first category of what we have control over. But then there's this second category of what we don't have control, or maybe we have little control over. Whether it's dinner today, I have no control over that. I have no control over the drivers on the road today. I have no control over my adult loved ones and the choices that they're making. I have no control over when the pandemic will end or what the state of the government's going to end up like. I have no control over these things. However, I am surprised to find that in this category, we do have control over some things. And this is key. The first thing to this category of not having control is to acknowledge that these circumstances are out of my control, or I have little control over them. So how am I going to respond? That's something I totally have control over, is how am I going to respond? How much energy am I going to spend worrying and building up resentment over things that I can't control? So my own behavior. One of the common conversations that I find this time of the year is that, is 2021 going to be better than 2020? I don't have any control over that, but we do in being the healthiest and strongest so we can fight through this cold and flu season or the virus. We have control over who we spend time with and the supportive people that encourage us. We have control over that. We have control over whether we do a wish list. We do a wish list, and I hope we have time to talk about that, because that's just one of my favorite action steps to help people get started and push that accelerator. So,
and I love that. I love that, Tammy. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with the Sarasota-based board-certified life coach, Tammy Barnett. Her website is tammybarnett.com. And as you're talking, Tammy, about the things we don't have control over, I'm just sitting here nodding my head like crazy, because as you mentioned, there are many of those things. I love your examples of we don't have control over the traffic on the roads when we're out driving. We don't have control over the weather, certainly, but we have 100% over our reaction to those things, our responses to those things. And with your example of the traffic, when we've all been stuck in traffic and we're on a tight schedule and there's someone driving crazy next to us or in front of us or whatever, we can let that ruin our day or not.
Yes.
That part's up to us. Yep, part is up to us. I do want to get to your wish list, because before we run out of time, because I also love that.
Yeah, so, oftentimes we hear people ask, what's your goals? And I love goals. We need goals. And so for me, the wish is that it's just, I don't know, it's warmer. It's I think, easier. It just feels better. So grab a piece of paper. You want to put 2 columns vertically. So column 1, you're going to brainstorm, and you're going to list every desire, every wish, every dream, every goal of your heart. And don't worry about it being silly. Don't analyze it. Don't, just write it. Just brainstorm. Get as many wishes down as you can in that column number 1. Column number 2, you're going to put some very, very simple action steps that you can take, 1 or 2 simple action steps that you can take in the next week, in the very near future, so that you can begin pushing that accelerator. And the important piece to this wish list is that you want to keep it someplace where you see it often. Because as you look at it and you see the progress that you're making, and you check those wishes off your list, again, even if they're silly and little, they need to go motivate you to keep moving forward and tackling some of those harder ones on your list. So, and don't be afraid to cross off. If you put things on your wish list and you decide down the road, I don't want that anymore, cross it off and get rid of it. But have fun and keep this going all year long. Just going all year long. Just messy. Just, continue having fun with this wish list. But mine sits on my desk and it's already a mess. But I've accomplished so much already.
And it's only the 26th of January, Tammy. You're doing well. I had a couple things. I love the wish list versus goals, and I've always been a goal setter, all about goals. I certainly endorse that. But when I'm just listening to you, the difference between just the word goal and the word wish, goal is kind of a hard word. It kind of sounds like an assignment, like a task. Wish is such a happy word.
It is.
It's a positive word, so I love that. I love that, by the way. And I made the columns on the piece of paper in front of me, the 2 columns, one with the brainstorm and the other with action steps that we can take. And I know, Tammy, as you're saying, that's where the power comes, isn't it? Because isn't it? Because once we cross a couple things off, even if they're small things, even if they're minor things, that just fuels us. It fuels our minds. It fuels our body. It fuels our motivation to keep going. And that's where the power is. Love it.
It totally is. Totally well put.
Tammy Barnett about her blog, which I read about a month ago, end of December, I think, and I reached out to her, and I'm so glad we were able to get on her schedule today. The blog is Hope and Action, and talking all about hope without action. It's just a wish is the exact title. So sharing some tips in terms of getting, and it coincides so wonderfully, Tammy, and again, I appreciate your time with my theme for this year in terms of steering your life. Let's do all these things to get ourselves out of the passenger seat, back into the driver's seat, back taking control of our lives, because this is a new year. There was not a lot of that last year. People weren't feeling in control necessarily. 2021, yes, we are. I love that.
Yes. I love it. Well, thank you for all you do for so many. You are such an inspiration. Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. Hi. So how often do you post a new blog, Tammy?
I try to once a week, but I've fallen behind because I've got some new projects in the works, which I'm not gonna disclose right now, but I'm really excited. So I'm going to get back to blogging here in the next week or so, I hope. But I wanted to tell you on my website, if you go to my homepage, there is a free download for if you're having trouble just figuring out that wish list or kind of feeling stuck right now. There's a fabulous assessment that you can take that divides out every piece of your area of your life, and helps you to evaluate where you're at and gets you to start thinking about it. So I would encourage you to go to my website on that homepage. About 3/4 of the way down, it says creating a better 2021. So.
I love that. COVID being what it is, Tammy, are you working with folks virtually, whether it be phone calls or Zoom calls?
I am. I have learned a lot in this COVID year. Yes. Zoom in. We are phone calling. I do have. I have an office. I have an office, and so I do meet some clients that prefer to meet in person, but very safe and socially distanced. So, that it should not stop you. Nothing should stop you from reaching out if you'd like to work alongside of a coach. That's what I'm here for, and that's where my passion lies. So, again, I appreciate the opportunity.
No, don't mention it. So, do you want to give a phone number, or should we just steer folks to your website?
Absolutely. You gave my website, and then my cell phone is 941-350-2509.
Terrific. That's Tammy Barnett. Her website, again, she's right up the road in Sarasota. As I say, board-certified life coach. She truly is fabulous. Tammy Barnett with 2 T's at the end, BARNETT.com, TammyBarnett.com, and her phone number, 942-2509. Did I get that right, Tammy?
You did.
Okay, wonderful. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Please, let's stay in touch, because I would love to have you come back and chat more about any one of the really inspiring motivational things that you're working on. I know you always are. And when whatever you're not telling us as exciting news happens and you want to tell us, just reach out.
I will certainly do it. Thank you again,
Okay.
So Mary. I'm going to go drink my green juice now.
There you go. Do it. Love it. Thank you, Tammy.
All right.
Tammy Barnett. She really is wonderful. Right up the road in